What's up, everybody?
You reached the mic. Just like, oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've been on a Zoom or a live. But welcome to our first podcast.
The Mud Club.
Yes. This is our first time doing this. I don't know if we're doing it right. We're just going to figure it out. So we're starting here, and then once I get the logistics down, I'll figure out how to get on podcasts, like the apps and things like that. So without further ado, our subject today is how we got started in real estate. And the cover of says sleeping on an air mattress to buying apartments. And it's not an exaggeration. At one point, we were sleeping on an air mattress for months, and that sucked. So, we're going to take you back to where it all began and how we got where we are now. So, let me think. It started when Joseph was working in Houston at a Valley company, and I was working at an iBank in Houston doing monotonous stuff, doing paperwork. And that is not me. I like to talk to people. I like to be out and about and having fun and doing different things. So I'd probably get in trouble for saying this, but who cares? I was on the clock all the time watching YouTube, not working. That's how I was getting paid. But I was sitting there in the office. I was like, I hate this job. I hate these people. I don't care. So I would sit there on YouTube and Google how to get rich. Like, how are all these people successful? Like, what are they doing? There has to be more than working a job like this every day. I just can't picture myself doing that. And I feel like that's always kind of been in me. I just didn't know how to get there or what to do. And my dad's a lot like that too. And so I feel like I kind of get that from him, like always trying new business ventures and trying to figure out how to make money. So I stumbled upon Gary Vee and fell in love with him. And I was like, we have to go to his event.
Whoa.
You know
Fell
what I
in love
mean.
is a little strong.
Okay. I liked him anyways.
All right, we'll go with that.
We went to his event, and there was multiple other speakers there. And so another speaker was talking about real estate. And I was like, what is this? Like, this is nice.
Do you even remember his name? Because I have no idea.
Who was talking about real estate?
Yeah.
No.
I do not know who he was.
I don't know who was talking about real estate, but I remember thinking, this is what I want to do. So, you know, those real estate events where they're like, hey, come to this event, and then we'll teach you more, and then come to the next one, and the next one. Yeah. So we got bamboozled.
Yeah, suckered into it.
Yeah, we were those people that they go after. But I looked at my old notes, and everything is what we've already learned now, which was cool to look back at, like when we went to that event. But we did the real estate event and then never touched it again for like 3 years. We just went back to school, went back to working, and didn't do anything with it.
Yeah. Basically, it was a mindset issue, right? We understood it all. Like, I'll give them that. They actually did teach us some stuff. You know, it was mostly wholesale and some lease options, things like that. But they actually did teach us some stuff. But it just seems so far-fetched. And our mindset was really the only issue that stopped us. We were like, yeah, no, this isn't for us. We'll move on. And so 2 or 3 years later is when we really started.
So COVID happened. And we're living in our apartment together, and I hate my job. I was working as a server and a bartender. Like, the people I was working with, their mindsets are so negative. The managers are negative. Everybody just like doesn't want to be there. And I'm like, I hate being around these kind of people. I hate going to work. Like, it was such a drag. It was very frustrating. I'm like, what is this? Like, we go to work, we come home, we watch TV, and then we do it all over again. Like, what is the point of life? Like, what are we working for? It's like there has to be more than this. I want more than this. I want a life where I'm happy and I have freedom and I can do the things I want to do. Mainly, I don't like someone telling me what to do. And I knew having a boss was not good. So I was like, whatever I have to do to not have to work for someone, I will figure it out. So
To be honest, though, had COVID not happened, like I know it sounds really bad, but COVID was a blessing for us because had COVID not happened, we would have just kept going through it. I mean, maybe something would have changed a few years down the road, but the real reason that that mindset happened is we were sitting at home doing nothing because we lost our jobs. I just started as a personal trainer, worked for 3 hours. They sent us home. It was bartending. They sent her home. We weren't allowed to work. So like 2, 3 months into it, KJ is like, we need to do something. Like, this sucks. I hate this. Right? We had no money. We're about to lose our apartment. We're barely scraping by. Demolished all of our savings. And sorry, I'm like, parent life. I had to eat like right now. Demolished all of our savings and had to basically like figure it out. And so luckily, KJ had this fire under her, and she's like, we got to figure this out. We got to find out how to get rich. So first thing we did, type in YouTube how to get rich, and that led us eventually to real estate, and from real estate to wholesale, and from wholesale it was like, okay, this makes sense, and it never even really clicked that we already learned it all before.
no, I
It
totally
it
forgot.
really did. That whole first class basically non-existent, but the wholesale seemed to be the answer for us because we were able to get in little to no money, had no money at the time, so it made sense as the right answer for us. So we reached out to somebody that my dad's friend, and he was in real estate, but that wasn't really his main gig. Ultimately, he connected us to our first two mentors. Their names Jared Graves and Cody Pearl. They were running a successful wholesale operation at the time, and yeah, huge shout out to them. Basically, we paid them all the money we had, literally all the money we had.
Wait. We paid them our stimulus checks.
Mhm.
All you people who blew it on shoes and cell phones and everything else, we invested in ourselves. And how much do we have left in a bank
We had
account?
$97. Literally, that's all we had to our name, and we had like rent coming up.
This is not joking. I had a memory pop up on my Snapchat from years ago, and it showed 22 something dollars left in our bank account. And I wrote on there, I was like, I hope one day I look back at this and like I couldn't like appreciate what I have.
I actually remember that.
Yeah, no, I should have like saved my memories on Snapchat, but um, that was a scary moment for us to do that.
Put it all on the line. Literally everything.
But
Literally everything.
I think every time we do that is when we come out like on top. So when we were going there every day though, I feel like we were still hesitant. We still had a lot of mindset issues,
Absolutely.
which was really hard because I'm like, okay, we put everything on the line. Like we don't have an option. This has to work. Like I told my parents that I'm doing this. It has to work. Like it can't be one of those things I did again where it didn't work out. Like they're betting on me to fail. I'm like, this has to work. So after a month of training with them, I called a seller. Like we were calling the dead, and I called a seller that they said no one else in the office could close, and for some reason he related to me, and so he sold us 4 houses all at once, and so we were able to sell those to another buyer for 45K. So 2 months in, it took like a month to get them under contract and close and do everything. So like from the moment that we invested 5K and had nothing left in our bank account to the moment that we brought home our first check, which we split that with our mentor. So we brought home 22,500. That moment was like
It was almost how much we made in a year.
I was like on a high. I was like, is this real? I was like, did we really do this? Like, honestly, that's what led me to not wanting to finish school and Joseph had to finish a class for me because I was like, I just made half a teacher's salary in 1 month, and you're trying to tell me I'm gonna go to school and like become a teacher and have people tell me what to do and deal with parents and politics and all this stuff. I was like, I would much rather be at home and do this stuff and make 10 times the amount of money.
And for those of y'all that don't know KJ, as soon as she's done with something, she's done. She's done. There's no saving it. She's gone. Yeah. Mindset completely. It's not in the realm anymore. It's just not existent.
I'm a person that like doing that. Like I'm like take action now. I don't think about it.
So the contrary is like, yep. If she's to do it now, she's also like, I'm not gonna do it anymore. Now, starting now, it's not existent.
Yeah. So it's funny because I really only have one class. So the last semester was one class online, and I could have told this if I don't care.
She didn't. She wasn't gonna do it.
I wasn't gonna graduate with one class left. Luckily, he took the class for me, and I graduated. But I should have was like, no, I'm doing really serious.
No, I don't know if I ever got a thank you for that
either. I cook for you all the time. Anyway, so all of this happened summer of 2020 of COVID, and then we went right back to our old mindset, to old friends. Blew the money because not on things we shouldn't, but we didn't know, we just thought put money into business, get money out, right? And no, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, we spent like 12 grand on marketing, and we didn't have the bandwidth.
We didn't know what we were
to
doing.
deal with it, right? So we had all these leads coming in, and we just did not have the mindset, the bandwidth, the team, the structure, anything in place. I mean, Cody and Jared, they gave us all this stuff, right? But we just didn't have like the right mindset to go and make it happen. Right? We didn't, right? We were done with it.
Yeah.
But huge learning lesson.
I think we've had a lot of learning lessons, and I think cutting off toxic friends, friends that don't have the right mindset, closed-minded, scarcity mindset. That was hard for us because we had friends that we were really close to, but just being around them wasn't going to bring us up or to where we wanted to be in life. And that was something like we had to come to face with is like, do we want this life or do we want to keep partying with these friends that really aren't going anywhere and aren't bringing us up? So we had to step away from them. And then December of that 2020 year, we decided, okay, what we were doing was wholesaling. So we were finding people who had messed up houses. So we would go find people who, like if they were to go sell it on the market, it's not going to sell. You needed an investor to come and fix it up. So we would target those people, get it for a good price, and then sell it to an investor for, 10K, 15K, whatever we could get on it. So we were just saying, hey, I found it, and then I would sell it to an investor, being a middleman and then getting in between. So we were doing that, but you can only get so far.
At least we were attempting to, right? That was the goal. We were attempting to make that happen. But to be honest with you, that whole 6-month period, it really took us another like 8 months to get the second deal under our belt, and that was after a couple of things happened, right? We ended up leaving the apartment because we got that deal, but
we got the worst part.
Yeah, we were trying to like live. We wanted to live off of that at the same time, right? We didn't want to go back to school, one thing, but we were like, let's just finish it off. But we also didn't want to go back to working, and we haven't worked since. So we were adamant, like, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to go get another job, and we're going to put our whole heart into this, right? And so.
But did we? No.
Yeah. That was the intention. Right? Well, in that time, we decided like our lease ended. So we had just barely scraped by, or like, let's not put ourselves in that position again. Like, God knows what's going to happen. So we ended up moving back in with my dad. So us two, married already with 2 dogs at the time, moved into 1 bedroom at my dad's house, and we took a 1,500 square foot apartment and moved it all into 1 room and had to get a storage unit. All it was awful. Like, my dad is great, right? Don't get me wrong. He was amazing that he helped us out in that time period. huge shout out to my dad for that. But just being there, losing our own space, going through all of that was a disaster to our mindset. It really was. I mean, we had no privacy. I mean, this was like the darkest time in our life, to be honest. Like, really, like going through all that and just really getting no traction. Like, it felt like no matter what we did, we got no traction. So that's when we were like, okay, we need more tools in our tool belt, and that's what KJ was giving us.
Also, explain we moved in summer as well of 2020. So all of this was happening at the same time. We closed our first deal,
all of it,
and then we also had to move in. So it was on a high. But then, like I said, we didn't know what we were doing with the money. We thought, oh, put the money in, and then the money on these leads we couldn't handle, didn't know how to close, so it was a waste, basically. So that means, okay, we spent half of it. Now we have to live off of half of it for the rest of the year. So we pretty much dwindled all our money down to nothing by December.
Yeah, pretty much.
So by December, we were like, we must close another deal. Like, otherwise we can't pay our bills. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, COVID's still a thing, jobs aren't open. What are we gonna do? Once again, our backs against the wall. So then we're like, okay, we found Pace. We found Pace, who does creative financing. So if you're not familiar, there's ways that you could buy houses subject to where we can come in and make payments on your mortgage. So your mortgage stays in place. So we make payments on your behalf, and then we own the property. So people who can't afford to put their property on the market, they'll have to pay agents, closing costs, everything. They have to come out of pocket because they don't have enough equity. We take over houses like that, and we help people out of foreclosure. So people who are about to lose their homes, we come, put money down, pay up their arrears, and take over their mortgage. So there's a bunch of creative ways that you can buy homes besides just cash. So we like to help people in those situations, but we didn't know how. And so joining Sub 2, which is a mentorship with Pace Morby, shout out to him for helping us so much.
Huge shout out.
That was the next step to level us up. Do you want to keep it going?
Yeah. So you would think like boom, another deal immediately, right? Well, yeah, no, that didn't happen. But what did happen is we really dove into the content, right? There was, he has, for those that are in Sub 2, he has the courses in the beginning. Honestly, we didn't even finish week 2. We just started reaching out in the community and started learning all the stuff that we wanted to learn, that we kept hearing about, right? Sub 2 and all these other different strategies. So we just started trying to figure them out and get better with our closing tactics, right? That's what we were trying to do. We knew there was ways that we could be better at closing, but we wanted to get better at closing.
Oscar said it's not picking up audio. Can you guys hear us? I'm gonna be so upset if the audio is not good for you. Oh no, everybody's saying that. I'm gonna have to re-record this whole thing. Okay, can you guys hear us? Can you let me know in the comments? This is what happens when we do our first one. Wait, is there a little thingy to make it where it picks up? Usually you'll have it. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? I have no idea. We should have tested this beforehand. Hello?
Is that better? Looks like.
Oh yeah, it looks like better. Okay. Okay. Oh, hi, Mom. Hi, Felix.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So where were we?
Okay,
so we joined Sub 2, right? We were trying to learn all of these new tactics, and what was really the most value for us was meeting everybody that we met. I mean, we started just meeting people left and right. I could easily say that we have friends in every state now, even outside of the states. I got people in the Philippines that message me regularly, right? So that next most important contact or relationship that we made after joining Sub 2 was Yui Win. So shout out to Yui for anyone in Houston or has worked with Yui. You know what I'm talking about. This guy is a beast. He's a hustler. So he ended up helping us get, I think it was our second deal. And the second deal, we actually, he showed up to the appointment with us, and we ended up closing the seller right then and there. He didn't know it yet. He still said, "Yeah, I want some time to, think about it," but ended up calling us back the very next day. So from start to finish of that deal, we went to look at it and talked to the seller for the very first time on Thursday. He got him to agree to the agreement on Friday, right, the very following day, and then by Saturday, had everything turned in, and we closed on that Monday. Pretty crazy. One of the fastest deals I've ever done. One of the smoothest deals I've ever done, for sure. And that really set us up. Once we did that, we had a lot more momentum. We were a lot more confident and everything. And it really changed our outlook on everything that we were doing, and it was more attainable. But still, we're also battling ourselves, our mindsets, and everything that we're going through all at the same time, right? This never stops. So anybody that's an entrepreneur or does anything like this, it's ups and downs all the time. Sometimes it's ups and downs at the same time, right? So it never really stops. So yeah, we went through a bunch of trials and tribulations, but I mean, if we go through all of that, we'll be here for another 24 hours. So let's really skip ahead to the mattress, right? How did that
occur? Yeah, I was about to say, don't skip that.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. So during that time period, we were living with my dad for, I don't know, a year and a half, and towards the latter half of that, maybe like the halfway point. At this time, guys, we were sleeping on an old mattress.
It was 16 years old.
And I think older than that.
It was literally sunk in the middle.
Imagine so
how your back feels.
It was so bad.
Where you're literally sliding.
We would literally complain about our backs hurting every day, and sometimes KJ would wake up crying. It was bad. It sucked.
And then the AC didn't work in the room.
Yeah, the AC in our room. Oh man, I forgot about all that.
Yeah, we would wake up sometimes to stop, and then his AC would automatically turn itself up. So even if we go turn it down, he had it set to where it turned itself back up. And I would.
It's safe to say that all these like smart technology thermometers or whatever you want to call them, I absolutely hate them for that reason. Like I will never put one of those in my house because it traumatized us. Like it was so awful. I hated it. We would wake up at like 4 a.m. just sweating because it was so hot in there. It's so hot in there. It was
so you don't
awful.
Have sleep, you don't have space, you don't have money. You're trying to figure out real estate. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to do it. You're trying to take action, and you're just like, where do I go? How do I do this? Like these are those thoughts that went in our head. We always question, like, are we good enough? Can we actually do this? Are we capable? Like, why are we trying to do this? But then at the same time, my thoughts are, what if I don't do this? I'm going to be stuck where I am. I'm not going to make the money I want. I'm going to be unhappy at a job. So, like, the constant of, if I don't do this, was always right there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm at the worst. So, like, might as well keep going because it can only go up from here.
Yeah, we were living our worst case scenario, literally living.
Yeah. But to be honest, like, the bright side of that is, like, us being the ages that we were, like, we would probably have never got to live with his parents the way we did. And so I'm sure one day, I mean, even though I look back, I'm like, that's time that we're going to appreciate later on in life that, like, we're adults getting to live with a parent. Usually once you move off, and then, you think about the days, I miss living with my parents. So.
Yeah. Even on top of that, right, like, my little brother, I'm 11 years older than him, so I got to like hang out with him a lot more often too. So there's always good in every situation, and that was just a couple of the good things. So that mattress, right? Back to that mattress. We literally got rid of it. We were fed up with this thing. I'm so sick and tired of it. Like no mattress is better than this mattress. So we just got rid of it. Like didn't even think about it or have a plan or anything. Didn't have money to go buy another one, not even a little cheap one. So we just chunked it on the front of at the front of the house. We left it there for someone to come pick. I don't even know when trash day was. We just got rid of it. We did not care. And so we were like, damn, well now we need to sleep on something and we don't have a mattress. So we went to Walmart and bought like a $30 or $40 air mattress. And so that is what we slept on for like, I don't know, another 2 or 3 months. And then we have dogs, right? So one of the dogs jumped up on the air mattress and popped it. So that's like 2 or 3 months in. So we went and got another one. So we replaced that with another air mattress. And then that one,
After we also slept on it for so long that it couldn't
it would
handle
deflate.
life.
Yeah.
Like I guess it's not meant to be used for long term.
Well, it's funny because every night we would go to bed, you would just hear like the mattress, it was like one of the little turns where it inflates itself. So every night you would just hear the thing turn on. And so we'd have to, go tell my dad, like, hey, I gotta go inflate my mattress. And we have always had like a good spirit or good humor about, all the problems we face. I mean, what's life if you're not gonna have fun with it? So we'd always make like a joke about it, but it really wasn't funny. It kind of sucked a lot. So a long story short, we went through like 2 or 3 air mattresses, and I think maybe like a total of like 7 or 8 months we were actually sleeping on that thing. Then we got huge payout. We got huge payout. Our biggest deal we've ever closed as a wholesale, and man, that was amazing. We ended up getting paid out on her birthday, so she had a really good birthday that year. And shortly after that, you know what? Take it one step back. The reason things started getting better, the most important thing, right? The reason things really started changing for us, and I would say this is the turning point of our entire business, was we got so low, like things were so bad between our business, our lifestyle, like we were not eating right, we're not doing right. We had awful friends that were just not good influences, and we just weren't doing anything we were supposed to, and we were arguing all the time. And then when we were like, okay, we need to figure something else out different. And like KJ always does, right? She's always the idea person, and then choose the ideas that are really the good ones, right? So really, I'm the mastermind. But anyways, is like we need to go back to church. We were always going, but it wasn't like a priority to go. And then when we really made it a priority and got involved, we started doing life team, where we were like, I guess, youth counselors for some middle school kids. And so when we started doing that and really like devoting our time and energy into this stuff and really committing and wanting to learn and love God, right? That's when everything changed. And then like a month later is when we closed that huge deal. I mean, we were working on it forever, and that specific deal we worked on for like I think 8 or 9 months. It took us to close that because we started off and then this went wrong and this went wrong and this went wrong. I mean, like anybody that's ever done a real estate deal knows that. I mean, crap goes wrong all the time. So that one, after like 8 or 9 months, we were able to close that. And after like a month of really devoting ourselves in, that's when it happened. Huge payout. I mean, we got the check right here above, hanging above her desk here. And that's when, things really started changing for us. And
that's when we decided, let's move to Arizona.
Yeah, we're just like, let's just leave. Let's just leave. We got the money. We can go do whatever we want. Let's just leave. Let's just go do something and meet new people. We wanted to meet more people. So I guess where we take it after that, right? More trials and tribulations, right? We don't want to bore you guys. A bunch of different stuff that we went through along the way, up until the point where we had to pivot again in our business.
And once again, okay, so we went to Arizona to be partners, and we have different goals and values. So we pretty much ended up having to start all over. We're like, okay, here we are.
Back from the beginning, like everything that we built and created, we were like, all right, let's go just combine forces. And that didn't happen. So everything that we had done up to that point, we had to just start over completely. Imagine doing that.
So here we are in Arizona by ourselves, which was great. before, and then also to get away from your comfort zone and do something out of your comfort zone. And I was like, okay, here we are again. Well, what do we do now? And so Joseph ended up starting to do the wholesale stuff again, which never brought us joy. We didn't like doing that. And
I still hate it.
I always wanted to do multi-family, and it always seemed so unattainable. And I was like, man, how amazing would it be to own an apartment building? And I'm just like, we're little guys. We don't even know how to, like, we barely know how to build a business and do wholesale.
Like, we can barely own an apartment unit.
I know. I was like, how are we going to buy an apartment building? I was like, I don't understand the financials. Like, all of this stuff is, like, so above my head that I just couldn't wrap my mind around doing something like that. And so what it was is I was doing dispo, so I'm like finding buyers for our deals, and all these buyers are like, "Oh, I'm selling off my portfolio because I want to get into multifamily," and I'm like, "Man, they're starting over because either way, you still have to learn multifamily. It's not just like you level up, like, oh, okay, I hit this many houses in single family, time to level up."
Yeah, I gained the multifamily skill.
Yeah.
So
I was like, why do I want to be this person 10 years from now, trying to sell off my single family portfolio and then get started into multifamily? I was like, I don't want to do that. I was like, why can't we just start now? I was like, why can't we just skip all that? Just do it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to find people that are doing this. And I'm just going to make friends with them. And I'm going to find out how we can work together. And we're going to learn. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And so then I was searching and I found Oscar, who's our partner now. Oscar, shout out Oscar. I don't know why. I don't even remember. All I know is like I associated multifamily with Oscar. And so I messaged him and I still have the messages today, which is funny. I said, Oscar, I was like, I want to team up with you. I want to learn multifamily. Can we hop on a Zoom? And so we hopped on a Zoom and then we've been together ever since. So he was a few months ahead of us, and so we were all learning together. We were just like, we want this end goal. We all have the same mindset, same goals. Like, let's learn to do this together. So we just did it every single day. We were just taking action. We messed up. We looked dumb. We recorded our whole journey actually, which will be cool to do something with one day. Because when we're looking back and I shared myself calling, I was like, oh my God.
It's so bad.
I'm like, it's so embarrassing that I was like sounding like that. So the first 7 months was like, I don't know, it was rough.
Yeah, rough. It's the only word to describe it. If anybody that's ever tried something new, the first few times, it's relative to each whatever it is that you're doing, but the first time period that you're doing it is always rocky. And ours definitely was. I would say that out of those first 7 months, like the first 3 or 4 was basically a huge waste of time because we didn't know what we were doing.
We didn't know what we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Then we hired or we paid for another mentor that leveled us up. So that was another spot where we were like, okay, we're like stalled, trying to like find somebody above us that we can learn from. So that's something that we've learned along our journey is every time we feel stuck or like, what do we do now? Or like, we're not gaining traction. That means it's time for us to go find another mentor, find somebody else that will take us to the next level. So that's kind of something we've learned along the way that's been helpful. So that kind of took us to the next level. And we were able to close a 30 unit in Corpus Christi, a 40 unit in Tennessee that we're partners on. And then we are under contract to close another deal at the end of this month. So it's been super crazy, and multifamily is actually difficult.
Who'd have thunk it, right?
I mean, I guess all of it's difficult. Nothing good comes easy.
Yeah, everything's hard, right? It's choose your hard.
Yeah. I'm like, eventually I'm going to get there. So I just got to keep doing it until I'm like so comfortable and familiar with it that it's second nature. So eventually I'm going to be like, what do you mean? I just bought an apartment yesterday. It's the next day. know, there's like nothing.
Even now, I mean, we have people reaching out to us daily to help them out with some perspective of multifamily, whether it's just general questions or underwriting deals or how do we take down this deal or will you do this deal with me, right? So we've absolutely come a long way, right? And it's very surreal to look back on. And I guess really the main point of sharing this story with you guys is one to show you that we didn't just wake up one day and start buying apartments. It didn't happen. There was a lot of behind the scenes work and effort and grit and sweat equity and money and regular equity. Yeah, for real.
Wondering how I paid because this deal that we've been under contract since January. That's 8 months of if that's your only income, that's 8 months of not getting paid. So that's the downside of entrepreneurship is such unstable income until you figure out how to really make a business that is creating stable income. But it's going somewhere. I don't know.
I know I was too. You threw me off.
My bad.
She derailed my train.
But all of this has been a really great learning experience, and I think this has really taught us to dive deeper into ourselves because I've also hired a life coach to go deeper into my mindset and dealing with trauma and just other things of overcoming stuff that I didn't even know was holding me back, and that was really eye-opening. So majority of the time what we do is we invest in ourselves to constantly learn how to be better. And being in the real estate world has been amazing because everybody kind of has the same mindset of abundance. We share because we know it's all going to come back to us. We're giving. We're not sitting here thinking mine. We're not going to get anything or I expect you to pay me for this and things like that. Everyone is just so welcoming, and that's all right.
Sound good enough.
Whatever. Kind, open heart. What?
Open-hearted. It's okay. She's trying, guys. She's really trying.
It's just been a whole new world. Being in sub 2, we have friends all over the country. Anywhere we go, we could hit somebody up and someone will let us stay with them. Mm-hmm. And having the community has been amazing because we just have so many friends and people that we can call up when things get hard. And I think that's something that we had to learn is you can't do this alone. Definitely. And when we were trying to do it alone, I was like, it's on you. And you're like, well, it's on me. And I'm like, well, then we're both not doing anything. Mm-hmm. But when we teamed up with Oscar and Ione, they were like, you're working, I'm working. We're holding each other accountable. And then it was more exciting and fun to have people to do the journey with you, people that you can call and ask for help, people that you can lean on and be friends with. So that was a huge learning experience for us as well, is that we need people around us that are going to push us harder to be better as well. And God has to be number one.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Honestly, ever since that is really when we started doing well. Prior to that, I mean, everything that we did just seemed like it wasn't working. I don't know how else to put it. It just felt like our tires were spinning and we were literally getting no traction and just spinning and spinning and spinning. I guess you can metaphorically say spending and spending and spending because that's what we were doing. We just kept spending all the money we kept making and it felt like it really wasn't getting us anywhere. And now, even now, to this day, right, we're in similar situations, right? We're still. We're not saying we're perfect, right? But we have a lot more understanding of how everything works. We have the multifamily operations that are doing well. We're about to take down our third asset on multifamily. We have a single family operation that is still kicking strong. We just sent out a shout out to Oscar. I think him alone sent out 6 or 7 LOIs today. And that's just one day, right? We're also doing transactional lending and gator lending with other people's money, right? There's crazy. Yeah, we would have never even known that you could have done that. I would have never, all of this stuff, everything we've done was with other people's money, right? And that was literally just a mindset block because there's so much money out there. You just have to put yourself out there and put it out there what you're looking for and start meeting people. That's really it. That was the biggest thing for us is putting God first, number one, like you said, and then just getting out there, putting yourself out there, and meeting different people.
You have to take risks too.
Oh yeah,
Like, I think it's me, mainly me. I'm like, let's take a risk, let's do this, let's do that. And Joseph's like, you want to think about this first? And I'm like, no, I'll just do it. But I think we balance each other out really well because he's very analytical, and I'm just like, whatever. I don't read directions. Let's just do it. But
she really doesn't read directions. Sometimes it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I don't have time for it. I don't have time to read directions. That's what you're for.
I'm glad I could be your instructions reader.
Yeah. So
my life's purpose.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was our story of how we got started in real estate. We're by no means rich yet. Yep. We're getting there one day. That's the goal. I'm sure social media, you see someone buying apartments. Oh man, I've got millions. Right? Yeah, no, that's on you. I was like, we buy apartments with other people's money, and that was like the crazy eye opener thing. So anybody who wants to make a return on their money and it's sitting in their 401k in their IRA, let us borrow your money and you can get a return. It's a win-win. So, and then you can say you own an apartment too. We can both own an apartment. So, this was our story. This is about us. We started this podcast so that way we can share everything that we've been doing. And you guys can get to know us. And we always get asked, like, how did you get started in real estate? Can I hop on the phone with you and hear your story? I'm like, that's going to be a long story. Like,
so every time someone asks us that, we're going to send them this video.
I know. Now we have it recorded in the video. Mm-hmm. So, upcoming podcasts, we're going to talk about our marriage, talking about being parents. We're going to talk about real estate stuff, give them the nitty-gritty of certain topics, whatever you guys want to
doing this business together, right? Because that is no easy task, let me tell you, right? You thought, just being in a marriage is difficult, right? Try being in a marriage and a business partnership, right? That shit's something else. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? You see that? You saw the dude with the hair flip?
But
no, for real, right? I mean, like I said, we like to have fun with everything that we try to do. I mean, hopefully we're coming off and connecting with some people. That's really what we're looking to do here, and share our story. So hopefully there's some value that can be had here. I imagine there is. I mean, this is really just like quick, like cliff notes of 3.5 years or so of our journey, and really there's so much more. We have a lot that we can share with you guys, but we don't want to. Like I said, we don't want to have you sitting here for a whole 24, 48 hours. No one wants to do that.
So we're going to have different segments, different episodes, different topics. I'm still trying to figure out how to get it put on an actual podcast. And the timing and the dates is just going to vary based on Saylor.
For real.
Because right as we were going to start at 9:30, she woke up crying. I was like, oh, man.
Twice.
Oh, man.
I go put her down again.
I'm so proud that she didn't wake up.
Too. But now that she said that, of course, she jinxed it, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Anyway, if you guys are enjoying this, what we're doing, we really appreciate feedback, comments, questions, everything. That way, we don't feel like we're just talking to ourselves. That would be amazing. Just so that way we can engage. And you guys, if we haven't met you already, reach out. We definitely want to talk to you guys and get to know you. Oh, Martha's on here. We love Martha. So we hope you guys have a great. What is today? Tuesday.
I don't even know.
Yeah, but when you live together, work together, and you work from home, like you don't know what day it is.
And I use my calendar like religiously, and I still. That's the funny part.
Anyways, I'm excited to make more of these. So you guys can hear about our journey. So, message Oscar and tell Oscar he needs to make a podcast. Please and thank you. All right, I don't have an outro I made for this yet, so we're just all gonna awkwardly get off.
Okay. Bye everyone. Until next time.